Welcome to Time Out with Ochucha Emmanuel. We've been having an amazing time. If you've not joined before now, if today is the first time joining us, welcome. If today is the first time listening or watching on any of the platforms, welcome. So on last episode of Time Out with Ochucha Emmanuel spoke on what is destiny, highlighting that destiny is a location, destiny is a journey, and or destiny is a destination. So basically, we're all on earth, we're all on a mission to happen in the place of destiny. And then that was what we dealt on the last episode of Time Out with Ochocha Emmanuel. We spoke on various, went in depth basically on what destiny is. And then we noted three things or 3 points. And then the first was you can't get to the place of destiny without God. Journey to destiny is journey with God. You can't do God's bid without God. And then secondly, one of the things we spoke about was discipline. You can't get to the place of destiny if you're not disciplined. An indisciplined man cannot get to the place of destiny, and even if he does, he can't last in the place of destiny. So also then the last thing we spoke about in terms of what destiny is, we spoke about separation. We spoke about how you can't until you're separated, until you can if until you can be separated from the flock, until you can be separated from the bandwagon, you can get to the place of destiny. So we spoke in depthly on all of this, and then I would encourage that you go on all of our pages on YouTube, basically everywhere, to um, enjoy all of what we discussed on the last episode of Time Out to Share Manual. And then today isn't an exception. We're going to be having a beautiful time today on Time Out to the Chair Manual. Like I said, if you've not invited somebody, please do so. Invite your friends, invite everybody to come and partake on what we are going to enjoy today. So while our guests try to, okay, good evening, sir.
Hi, celebrate you. Good evening. Good evening.
It's so nice to have you on the platform today.
Same here.
Thank you.
Celebrate
Very much.
you.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people are already waiting and then eager to dish out of what you have for us today. So I'll just do a brief introduction and then I'll deliberately leave some parts out so you would help us on that and then finish up the bio.
That's
okay.
Fine.
So for those who are meeting you for the first time, this is Dr. Hanniel, and then he's a husband, he's a father, he's a counselor, he's an author. I think I should say, I don't know, but I know in some way you're a coach, you're a mentor, a seasoned teacher of the word of God, a seasoned teacher of the word of God, a public speaker, and then he inspires young people such as us. He inspires young people and transform life through his various posts, his write-ups on social media, and then via wise living. And then it's been awesome. If you can't get to his page and then not get inspired, not get transformed, and then not get permit me to use the word gingered into doing something new, into doing something different for the our generation at large. So sir, I know I left some parts out, so I'll just leave you to complete to tell us some of the parts I left out.
I think you said it all really. You didn't leave any parts because that's just the parts. I don't know any other parts again. Well, I don't know any other part, but I think it's fine.
Okay, I think I then, which means I would have just said, okay, this for everybody that is meeting you today, this is Dr. Hanniel, and then I would have left you to do the whole
okay. I think
introduction. But
the best part would be that okay, I'm a father, I'm a man of one wife. What else again? That's fine. And then a father of 3 children. That's fine.
Yeah. And then you don't even look like you have more than one kid. So I think we have a lot to draw from you today. I think one of which should be the grace to look this young and then have 3 children.
Yeah, we trust God to have a great time together.
Yes. So for everyone that is hooked up and then everyone that would join in or would watch the rebroadcast later, we're going to be talking on an interesting topic, and then that topic is having an identity. I think this is a very important one for this generation, for this time, for each and every one of us. to be able to identify. So I wouldn't want to steal the words from your mouth. I'll just go right into it. So like I said, the topic for today is having an identity. So sir, what does it mean to have an identity?
Okay, you know, identity is who you are. It's about you. It's just who you are. It's your character. It's your value. It's your lifestyle. It's your belief. You could just say it's everything about you. That if we call your name, if your name is mentioned somewhere, like we call your name, like, oh, Emmanuel, we won't say Emmanuel, just the name. Oh, Emmanuel, is it that guy that usually organize a chat or a timeout with Emmanuel? Oh, that guy is an inspirational person, you know. So that is your identity. You know, that's identity for me. So it's what you're doing, it's who you are, your belief, your lifestyle, your character, and that's it. I think that's it. I think that's it for me for for identity. Yeah.
No, I like the fact that it's a combination of everything that sums up a person, and then unconsciously some people feel like, oh, they just do stuffs and then their characters, they believe, like you said, it does, they don't know it reflects who they are, who they what everybody would say, okay, this person, and then, oh, is it that guy that always causes this, or is it that guy that does things this way? And then we don't know that our daily living is us actually creating an identity for ourselves, creating a picture for ourselves.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
how can someone build an identity for themselves or their brand? Because I know this is one topic or one issue or one question that a lot of people are faced with, because as easy as it might seem, it is not that easy for a lot of people. So how can we build up an identity for our brand or for ourselves?
All right. I like to start with, the first thing is, what are you here to do? I think we start with, why are you here? If we can answer the why, then we'll be able to answer what you are here to do. If you know why, and you will be able to know what. There are five key questions: the why, the what, the where, the when, and the how. Now, all these things have to do with your identity. If you don't know why, you won't be able to answer any other question. So why are you? Or we can ask, who are you? Do you get? Now, the first question I believe many of us should answer is the question of discovering who you are and what you're here to do. Now, that is your identity. Now, I think we live in a generation where many people we have too many identities. We have too many identities. We are one thing at home, we are one thing outside, we are another thing in church, we are another thing in school. We are just different. So nobody can say this is who you are. But what gives life a meaning is for you to be known for one thing all the days of your life. To be known for one thing, just one thing. And that one thing covers everything about you. It has to do with the problems you're solving, life's problem you're solving, the lives you're transforming. Just one thing. For instance, you're just doing this one thing. You might think it's little, but the informations that you are releasing here, or the kind of transformation going on this platform, shows that one thing that you're called. And of course, that's where you find fulfillment. You get. So I believe that many times we need to
I think in I think that's actually also is one of the problems when in this time we all want to do as young people, we want to do everything, and then everything is not for us. in the sense that like what I mentioned in the last podcast, we can't be found everywhere. We all have a place, and then that place is where we solve problems. That place is where God has called us for, and then that is where we can be able to build our. That is where we can be able to be identified in that particular place. So you saying that, oh, I want to do here. I'm supposed to do this. I want to do. Everybody feels like destiny or purpose is a hobby, that you can have multiple hobbies. And then that's, I think that is one problem also that we have, is the fact that some people don't actually know how to distinguish purpose from hobbies. You feel like, okay, I like doing this. Okay, it means that this is where God has called me for. And then I like the fact that you said problem solving, because every purpose is to solve a problem. And then if you're not solving a problem, it means that you are not fulfilling purpose, or you're not doing the matter or the business called purpose or destiny. So I think let me not dive into the next question, or try to pick up words from your mouth. So I'll just go right into the next question. And then my next question will be, how can we build our identity within God's plan for our lives? I think you've already started building on this, so I'll just like you to just talk more on it.
If you check the palm, your palm, like this palm, we all have our palm. The pattern is all different. We don't have same pattern. There's no two persons in the world that have the same pattern of palm, and that's why we use thumb prints as a means of identification. So it shows that there is something special about every individual. There is something unique you're bringing to the table. But one challenge we have is we don't take time to discover what that uniqueness is. We don't take time. We just do it. So many of us, okay, well, that's my problem, and that's like how God really did that. Our parents had to just manage us and see how they could direct us on the right, place us on the right path, where they had to guide us to study. Some of us didn't even know what course we are meant to study in school, and they helped us. So we didn't discover ourselves that much. But some people got to this today, but it's just like me. Now, I know that, see, you are born to be an evangelist. There's nothing you can do about it. I've known since I was like a teenager. But the world that says you must go to school, you as an evangelist, you must be doing something too. So rely, but it is not school that is giving me joy. It's when I just find myself on that street doing something. That's what gives me joy. The thing about us is we are not ready to toe the path of joy. We are only willing to toe the path of gratification. That is some things that can make you get money. We don't toe the path of joy. Do you know? For instance, now, I don't know how much of joy you feel doing this. Every time you want to do it, there's this leap in your spirit that shows, I'm about to do something meaningful. Like, you can pay anybody that will give you the privilege of doing this thing. If you have 10 million, you can pay any amount. You can pay any amount for anyone who will allow me to do this thing. Just because you know that you want to get this joy. Just the joy. You are just happy with the joy, not with the money. Joy. I can pay to have joy. That is what God desires all of us. But every part you toe, if you toe the part of God's call for your life, it's not always easy, and it's not always rosy. Many times we have not really looked at the point that, see, I just have this unique fingerprint, and I'm the only one that can do what God has said I should, has created me to do. and I know because I'm the only one that can do what God has created me to do, it means that there are no two persons doing what God has created me to do. So it means that I will not flock. I'll have to trust God to get the original plan. I have to put all the hard work to ensure that that plan works. So I might not find it very easy. I might not find people who will agree with me. I will not find people who are willing to work with me. That is where the challenge is. So many people will feel like, oh, I can't really go through this. I can't go through this alone. So many people are discouraged. So they say, I beg, let me leave this one. Let me go and look for a banking job. I beg. Let me get a banking job, or let me just get something. Meanwhile, you're not a call banker. You still go to the bank and fail. You're sacked. Then you say, oh God, please give me the next job. You now get an insurance job. You're sacked. But you know that God has called you to sell crayfish. Every time you pick the crayfish, it's just something unique. Or God has called you to work with young people. Anytime you're around young people, you are just so excited. There's something that stirs up on the inside of you. There's this joy. There's this pleasure. That is the path to toe. But many times, we have forgotten that we are unique. We don't have two persons who have the same print with us. We don't have two persons that have the same iris with us. So this agenda that God has assigned me to do is a lonely work. So I don't have too many people that are in this game. So what do I need to do? Stay on the path of God and learn the disciplines and break through. It might take 5 years, but just stay on course. It might take 10 years. Sometimes you might not have food to eat. Yeah. But just stay on course. But guess what? The end will always be glorious. That's the truth. I have never seen anyone who walked the path of destiny that ended in shame. I don't know if you have anyone, just tell me, who told the path of God's plan and purpose for their life that ended in shame. They probably would have started they would have found it a bit difficult starting. But I have never seen anyone who ended that thing in shame. All right, so you can go ahead.
Okay. This is so exciting for me because most of this is one of the things I'm planning to share, and some of which I just shared on the last episode. So it's exciting because one of the things I want to notice. Number one is when it comes to fulfilling purpose or destiny matters, we feel like young people feel like, oh, it has to be something that is popular. It has to be, okay, we are going to do it together. Me and my friends, all my guys, we are going to go and do this course together. But most times it's not that way. You have to be you have sometimes it's a lonely journey.
Yeah, it is.
And then you have to be alone to go and do what God has called you for. It's not something that you have a lot of people. Of course, in fulfilling purpose or destiny, at one point in time has to do with people. Of course, because you're solving a problem, that you're solving problems for people or whatever it may be. But it is always one of those journeys. It is one of those things in life that you're not going to do with people. You're going to do alone. So you have to be separated. It's just like the way I've not read the Bible when of David, in the case of David, where he was tendering his father's flocks with his friends or with somebody. It was only recorded that he was alone, and then he was at that point he was building capacity and all of that, and then he didn't know him challenging the bear or the lion or whatever, that he was preparing. God was preparing him for the throne. So at one point in time, when if it's destiny, if it's purpose, we have to understand that we have to be separated. So we'll be able to understand all of what God has for us. Because with people comes distractions. It's just like God told Abraham, leave your father's house, and then he took Lot, who was not in God's plan for him. And then it was when he was separated from Lot. That was when God spoke to him and said, look at this. And then, if not, imagine if Lot was with Abraham all through. So we wouldn't be making reference of him today in our world today. So destiny matter or purpose, when we're talking about purpose, it is one journey of life and death. It is one journey that
don't expect to have everybody coming. It's just like you said, you don't expect that people would. It's not one of those things that everybody would celebrate that you're doing. It's not one of those things that everybody will be happy that you're doing. It is sometimes, even when you're on the right path, people will be against the facts that you're actually doing that. So most times it is like you said, staying with God and then working with God and being led by God to get to the place that God has called you for, or God has proposed for you. If not, if you're trying to get everybody to do it with you, you just end up flopping and then mess up the chance of actually saving a generation or saving a people. Because I think fulfilling destiny is not for the now, it's for the future. Even if you're not here, you've saved a great deal of people. I think right now we're heavily influenced by some people. I was okay. Let me expose myself. I was going through your page, and then I was seeing a lot of people that some that you celebrated, and I'm like, your journey today wouldn't be complete to some extent if you don't have some of those people that are heavily influencing you. So these people are unconsciously fulfilling their purpose, fulfilling destiny, and then they are each and every one at some points in time they're just depositing on a lot of people, and then those people too are eventually depositing some of those other stuffs on other people too. So destiny matter or purpose is futuristic. If you're fulfilling it now, you're saving the future. And then so I think I'm already saying too much. So let me stop myself here and then go to the next question. So my next question is, what are the resources or tools needed to build a brand, or to build a brand? What are the resources? Okay, God has called you to go into this particular industry or do this. What are the resources you need to build the brand or whatever, or build the identity, or as the case may be?
Number one resource, you need supernatural resource, and that's God. And then you need His word.
Oh.
Many people don't, people say, oh, I do my things. I like to do my things. Just let's put God aside. See, you have to put God. Do you know that every human being has a spirit? And everything that must happen on the earth is backed by a spirit. And there are two spirits that are at work on the earth. The spirit of the Holy Ghost, and the spirit of Satan, the devil. These are the two spirits at work on the earth. And one propagates good, another one propagates evil. And you can take whether you call it the 7 mountains of influence anywhere in the world. They are ruled by two. Anyone on that mountain is ruled by either an evil spirit or the Holy Spirit. So you need God. And that's when you need God, you need His Spirit. Then secondly, you need a mentor. I will say it again. You need a mentor. We live in a generation where people no longer want to be accountable. The reason why we try and stop is because you're accountable to nobody. So nobody is checking you out to know, are you on course? What are you doing about what you are doing? Would that call you said you're going to work on, how are you working on it? What are you working on? Let me know. Okay, give me updates. You're not giving anybody updates. You have not given anybody the privilege to invade your life. So many of us feel like we can do it all by ourselves. No, you need a mentor. You need somebody who has succeeded in that area or in some area. And you report yourself and say, oh, okay, I want to do this. Please, can you help me? I need somebody that will help me so that I can be able to move forward. Do you understand? You need a mentor. And that mentorship will provide accountability. You know you're accountable. And it works for every area. Any area you want to be a person of influence, you need a mentor. You just need a person that that will monitor you, and somebody you will always report yourself to. You always report yourself to. And that's it. Then next, you need solid associations or relationships. You need solid relationships. You need people who are going the same in the right direction. People who are going in the right direction on their own vision. You need that kind of people, because that will be they will be motivators. Like they will be people of influence. I know we used to have. I have guys like that. I have a team. Like we check up on ourselves many times. We do. I have teams like that. I think Mr. Femi Oluyemi is there. Major shout out to him. I have Edward and major shout out to him. I have my brother Daniel, major shout out. Those are guys, man, they can check up on me. There are people that I'm not ashamed to share I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to share anything. Do you get? I have another guy, Coach Ndubisi, Coach Andy, awesome guy. He's written many books. I'm sure you've met him too. He's written, the coach is awesome guy too. I have those guys. I know that the guy you said you're going to do this thing. What are you doing about it? Somebody like Mr. Femi, you say, guy, you're dulling. You know, you need people who are not afraid to tell you the truth. You just need those kind of relationships. You don't need people who will be sapping from you, people who will be motivating you into becoming who God has destined you to become. You need those people. So that resource, I just want to end there the three. I said, number one, you need God. Two, you need a mentor. And three, you need solid relationship. These three can help you and will help you achieve and attain that divine purpose. It will help you to sustain it. It will help you. When you are tired, you say, guy, I feel like, how can you give up? So you want us to be associated with someone that gives up? No, I can never be associated with people that give up. I beg. Give it. No. Let's move forward. So you have people who push you. When you're down there, you say, no. You can't be down. Guy, they will call, they will just come. Just one or two discussions, you're fired up again. And then you have little regular meetings, like maybe once in a month or once in every 40 days, you guys are around each other again. After you must have done something, then you are returning back to each other to give out. Guy, what's happened? These are my few. This is it, but guy, this is where I messed up. Say, guy, you messed up here. Don't try it again. This is what you did not do well. That's it. And that's how it will help you to sustain. These are the major resources that will help you to sustain this brand.
Wow. I like to draw some of these points to the Bible. Like you said, this is mind blowing. First with God, and then second, have a mentor, and then have solid relationship. I think let me just draw some characters to solid relationship. But then I think Daniel is one that is, when we talk about solid relationship in the Bible, I think Daniel is one guy we'll point out. So, and then Joseph also, and he had toxic people around him. His brothers were toxic. If Joseph was still with his brothers, eventually, maybe at one point, maybe they would have found a way to poison him or do something to him, do something scary or something. But at one point in time, God had to separate him from those people for him to have, because that wasn't he wasn't having a solid relationship. He wasn't having the right relationship. And then Daniel, Meshach, and Abednego, and then those guys eventually had because of solid relationship, because they were connected to the right people, they were able to get to the place that God had called them for, or where they were going to, on the place of destiny. So we won't be able to get to, like you said, this if we have solid relationship, if we have the right people around us, if we have right mentors to point us out at the right direction, we'll be able to get to the place of destiny. So I think Dr. Hanniel is having difficulty with his network, but okay, hopefully he'll join us soon. So like he said, you can't one of the major resources you need first with God. And then, like I said on the last episode, I said you can't do God's deed without God. You can't get to the place that God has called you for without God. So welcome back, sir. So while he's trying to connect back, You can't get to the place that God has called you without God. Just imagine God sent you on a journey and then you want to go without Him. It doesn't even make any sense. So you can't get to the place that God has called you without God. You can't. One other resource that you need is having a mentor that will point you at the right direction. Someone, like he said, one very vital thing about mentorship is accountability. Somebody that you can be accountable to. Someone that can say, "Oh, you didn't do this well," or "You said you're going to do this," and then all of that. So, and then I think let me expose myself also. And then the last time I saw you, and then we had a very interesting conversation. And then you were like, "Okay, are you on this platform?" And then this, and then this, and then you actually said, "Okay, join this platform, you'll be able to reach more people." And I did, and then I was able to reach more people because I was open to learn from someone that obviously is doing well in that aspect. And then basically, so because I was able to have a good conversation, I was able to get attain a new height because I was able to listen and then being mentored by you at that particular point in time. So thank you, sir. That particular conversation is actually yielding fruit, and then I'm happy I'm sharing this, so people would know that we're not just hearing and then not doing. We're actually hearing and then doing, and then we're having results.
No. Let's move forward. So you have people who push you. When you're down there, they say, no, you can't be down. Guy, they will call, they will just come. Just one or two discussions, you're fired up again. And then you have little regular meetings, like maybe once in a month or once in every 40 days, you guys are around each other again. After you must have done something, then you are returning back to each other to give out. Guy, what's happened? These are my few. This is it, but guy, this is where I messed up. Say, guy, you messed up here. You messed up here. Don't try it again. This is what you did not do well. That's it. And that's how it will help you to sustain. These are the major resources that will help you to sustain this brand.
Wow. I like to draw some of these points to the Bible. Like you said, this is mind blowing. First with God, and then second, have a mentor, and then have solid relationship. I think let me just draw some characters to solid relationship. But then I think Daniel is one that is, when we talk about solid relationship in the Bible, I think Daniel is one guy we'll point out. So, and then Joseph also, and he had toxic people around him. His brothers were toxic. If Joseph was still with his brothers, eventually, maybe at one point, maybe they would have found a way to poison him or do something to him, do something scary or something. But at one point in time, God had to separate him from those people for him to have, because that wasn't he wasn't having a solid relationship. He wasn't having the right relationship. And then Daniel, Meshach, and Abednego, and then those guys eventually had because of solid relationship, because they were connected to the right people, they were able to get to the place that God had called them for, or where they were going to, on the place of destiny. So we won't be able to get to, like you said, this if we have solid relationship, if we have the right people around us, if we have right mentors to point us out at the right direction, we'll be able to get to the place of destiny. So I think Dr. Hanniel is having difficulty with his network, but okay, hopefully he'll join us soon. So like he said, you can't one of the major resources you need first with God. And then, like I said on the last episode, I said you can't do God's deed without God. You can't get to the place that God has called you for without God. So welcome back, sir. So while he's trying to connect back, you can't get to the place that God has called you without God. Just imagine God sent you on a journey and then you want to go without him. It doesn't even make any sense. So you can't get to the place that God has called you without God. You can't. One other resource that you need is having a mentor that will point you at the right direction. Someone, like he said, one very vital thing about mentorship is accountability. Somebody that you can be accountable to. Someone that can say, "Oh, you didn't do this well," or "You said you're going to do this," and then all of that. So, and then I think let me expose myself also. And then the last time I saw you, and then we had a very interesting conversation. And then you were like, okay, are you on this platform, and then this, and then this, and then you actually said, okay, join this platform, you'll be able to reach more people. And I did, and then I was able to reach more people because I was open to learn from someone that obviously is doing well in that aspect. And then basically, so because I was able to have a good conversation, I was able to get attain a new height because I was able to listen and then being mentored by you at that particular point in time. So thank you, sir. That particular conversation is actually yielding fruit, and then I'm happy I'm sharing this, so people would know that we're not just hearing and then not doing. We're actually hearing and then doing, and then we're having results. Go right into the next question, and then it is, why is it important to have an identity for yourself, for your brand?
All right, two things. What will you be remembered for? Legacy.
Oh.
What will you be remembered for? You know, we are not here forever. We are not here forever. We have a time frame. We have an outlook. Everybody, we might not have the same timing, but everybody has a time that has been allotted to him or her. That time is that's what we call lifetime. So the question is, what did you do with the time? Now, profitable things you do with your time is what will guarantee a healthy and a wonderful legacy. Today, if you call someone like Miles Monroe, he lived for 60 years. And till today, we still remember Miles Monroe. Today, all the things he did with his lifetime is still profitable to our generation. You get? So you can't say Miles Monroe wasted his time. That's one man that has a healthy legacy. There's another person that is so cool to me, Reinhard Bonnke. You know him?
Yeah.
You can't say he's long dead, but his legacies are here on earth. So what will you be remembered for? Many people, I don't want to, okay, some people want to be known. They want to be known. They want to be a celebrity. Celebrity of what? What should people be celebrating about you? And for you to be a celebrity, you'll be solving problems. If you want people to celebrate you, that means you should be solving problems. It means you're solving something that brings joy to the people. And it is that joy that makes them celebrate you. So, but what if you're doing nothing? It means you'll be remembered for nothing. When your name is mentioned, people say, who is that person's self? So if you know that you want to be remembered for something, and you know that you don't have so much time, you don't have forever, because you have a time frame. The maximum anybody can do something meaningful is 80 years. Look at Baba Adeboye now, Daddy Gio. He's 80 something years now. But the energy he had is no longer there. But guess what? If he passes on today, he will be remembered perpetually because he spent his lifetime for what matters. So we need to begin to think about what matters the most. That's it. So if you want to be remembered well, then it is important you begin to work on your identity. And it is that identity that people will remember you for. For instance, everybody quotes, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. Another generation, a wise man once said, they won't remember. But that is a man called Miles Monroe. He said it. So we must just think legacy. I don't know. For me, I think every day I wake up is just legacy. I'm under pressure because I know I don't have so much time again. Once you're in your 30s, you just have less than about another 40 or 35 more years to work. And when you blink your eyes like this, you're already 30, 40 something, 50 something. And God help you, once you get married, man, family can just hold you down. If you don't find your purpose before you get married, marriage can be your purpose. Marriage can hold you down and make you not to fulfill your purpose. For some ladies, having children can hold you down. So you need to find the purpose. You are not called into this world to just have children or just be a wife. And for some people who feel you were not born to be a side chick, you are born to be the main thing. So if you relegate yourself, you remember, you will never be remembered. The only I've even forgotten her. But if you're a person of impact and substance, you can never be forgotten long when you're gone. And that's why you and I have to strive and do all we can to ensure that when we leave this world, we will never be forgotten. Our impact will still remain. The reason why God created us will continue to be at work even when we are long gone. There are what's his name? Who again? There's this somebody like Archbishop Benson Idahosa. Please, somebody should forgive me that I'm just mentioning. That's my rem, my own rem. I don't know other people, but that's the side. Archbishop Benson Idahosa is gone. It's almost 20 years or over 20 years he died. Yes, I think it's 21 years. But there's hardly no Sunday in church that one minister does not mention Archbishop Benson Idahosa. In fact, people think he's still alive. But what's the reason? Legacy. They have been able to live a life of legacy. And that is what has sustained them. So they are dead, but they are not dead. They are dead physically, but they still remain alive in the hearts of the living. So whatsoever we do, we must make sure that we remain alive in the hearts of the living, even long when we are dead. I think that's it for that.
Wow, the only thing I can say is wow, because this brings a sense of responsibility. Someone that is not responsibility, hearing this just gives you, I have to take stock of my life and then know what I'm doing, because at the end of the day, legacy is everything. It's everything. You don't want to be remembered as that guy or that man that guy that used to be on the street, that guy that used to, but be remembered for something.
Yeah.
Wow. I think even if we end this live here, we end this session here with this is amazing already. This already is life transforming. The fact that you can actually think of what you would be remembered for, what you actually living, and then when you are calling these names, I'm like, wow, like these people are like people you would say they made tremendous impacts even in the next 100 years. If Jesus tarries, we would still be talking about them, because what they did is just amazing.
That's true.
It's just amazing. You cannot stumble on a Miles Monroe video, even if it's 1 minute, and not get inspired.
Yeah.
Where I had Bonky, I watched. I think there's hardly, maybe I wouldn't say all of his interviews that I've not seen, but every one of them I'm inspired by the work that he did, and then it's just amazing. You talk about people like Billy Graham or Robots, all of those people were still mentioning these names because they made impact in this world, and then like you said, they are still alive even when they are still dead. They're still alive because we're still mentioning them, because they actually did create an identity for themselves, and then that identity, like you said, was because they actually followed the supernatural. Yeah, like the last points we mentioned, it is because they followed God. That is why they were able to build that identity. Well, so how can we fully utilize the social media space for our brands and businesses, I think this is we can't say right now. Nobody can say the social media space is not important to everything you're doing. But if there's no balance, if we don't know how to strike a balance, eventually we won't be able to utilize it properly. So how can we utilize the social media space in terms of our brands and our businesses?
Oh, excellent, excellent. Now, social media is the reason we are communicating. Without social media, we might just have we have to be together. But you're seated at one end of the city and I'm at another end of the city, and then all we are interacting via social media. So social media is excellent, it's good, it's healthy, it's good, it helps to promote the brand. Another thing is many people are not real. Many times we are not real. We are not truthful. We are not truthful. We are not. We are not truthful. So we're on social media. We are one thing on social media. We are one thing outside social media. So we live like two different kind of lives. No. Now anybody who knows you, for you to have a perpetual, anybody who knows you, whether in person or on the social media, should have met you. As in, seeing you on social media is not different from seeing you in person. It's not different. I'm sure in the course you've actually maybe stumbled on people say, I know you, I know you, I know you, I know you. And like, okay, where? Oh, you're the one now, you organize this just with Emmanuel or Church Emmanuel. Yeah. Say, I follow your thoughts. I follow your thoughts. I get to hear that every single time. I get to, in fact, I've traveled to places and that's some people that I know you very well and I don't know them. I follow your Wise Living series. Oh, it's awesome. Please keep it up. I love that your Wise Living series. Oh, and I don't know them. But you know what? And it tells me. So people know me. What if I was doing the wrong thing? As somebody who knows me on social media. Now, that is one of the challenges of our generation. For you to build a brand, you must build a brand on the basis of truthfulness. You must be truthful. You must be true to yourself, meaning that you are not one thing outside social media and you're another thing on social media. So, if you are truthful, it will help you to preserve the brand. Because if some people see you on social media, okay, they know what you're doing on social media, and they can't relate it with what you are doing on the physical. It means that you are fake. You're doing the wrong thing. But you know, our generation, we like to filter a lot. So we filter so many things. We don't want people to know us. Of course, I don't want to live my whole life on social media. I don't live. I have some things I probably would not want to show. More importantly, it might just be my family. I probably would not like to expose my children on social media because I want to be popular or something. No, I have that privacy. When they are ready to present themselves on social media, then let them go ahead, but not me. I won't do it. Do you get? That's my own. I'm not saying it's bad, but just for me, I won't just present my children. I don't use that to showcase it. But this is it. I think we should be something unique. We should be truthful. We should just be who we are outside social media and the same person on social media. If you're poor, say you're poor. If you are a startup, say you are a startup. No, there's no need to fake that you are boxed up. Say you're a startup because somebody will help you. But you can't be presenting yourself as a rich person on social media and then they see you in real life and they can't really, then they'll say this person is a 419. This person is a gambling. It's not a right person to follow. So you have to be same person out, same person on social media. And that's what will help sustain your brand. And you must make sure that your life is making a difference. You see, this thing about social media is about this thing about brand sustainability is about what do you call it? It's about legacy. If you think of what will become of me in the next 20 years, in the next 30 years, what will become of me in the next 40 years, then you know that you don't need to joke now. Because one day, the people you see on social media, you will see them real life. And if you've been good on social media, they will treat you good in real life. But if you are bad on social media, then they will treat you bad in real life. So it's very important. Now, for those of us who are in businesses, we sell things, let's just be very sincere about what we sell. You don't go now and say, oh, you sell, and then you cheat people. You are not truthful. No. When you say this is it, do it. And even if you cannot do it, then give reasons why you should not do it. But don't just abscond. No. Because it's social media, you now open another account. No. We should be very sincere and very truthful. That's how our brand can be sustained. I think I'll end it there.
Wow. And then for the business, I think the business, that's why you see a lot of people have what I ordered versus what I got because of lack of sincerity. Yeah. People would paste something that is not real, and then I deliberately left this part for the last part of this interview because I know you're very vast in this area. So my next question will be how can we manage social media presence where it doesn't lead to toxicity?
Okay, for me, this is how I do it. Number one, okay, if you notice on my page, maybe recently, maybe like 3 days ago, I made a post about hell is real. Yeah. I don't know if you saw it. I made a post on hell is real. And I posted some pictures. I've been getting a backlash. Like if you go, and I would say it's been trending because the conversation had like almost 300 or to 400,000 conversations on that. That's comments. So, and I'm looking at it, and people say you don't have to. Why you? Because of course, as an evangelist, I have to promote the kingdom and tell guys that see, hell is real. Don't joke with these things. No matter how you live, you must live righteous. You know, and I'm saying it. But people are, because of how our society is, people are trying to hit me. So, but you know what? With all the bashing that I've gotten, and people who have sent me messages telling me, somebody said I need to go on a break. I don't have a thought of my own. Some people have told, so many people have said so many things, but this is it. I'm not living my life for social media. I'm living my life as unto the Lord. So number one, everything you must do it as unto God. So if I'm doing it unto God, I won't allow the filth to get into me. I won't allow somebody who have insulted me. I won't insult you back. I won't allow somebody because, okay, I just want, maybe after that, I'll just go and check it and read. If you read maybe the first 20 to 30, because the comments and the shares, I think the shares is almost 2.3 thousand shares and 2,300 shares. They've shared it, and the feedback is crazy. You can hear. Then all of a sudden, I'm the one feeling, God, how can somebody have this kind of heart disposition? This person is trading on a very dangerous ground. How? Somebody says that he doesn't mind dining with the devil in hell. Somebody says he doesn't care about hell and he doesn't mind being there. Somebody says he doesn't mind having a conversation with the devil in hell. You get? So people are saying things. Me, I'm not feeling bad. I'm just feeling terrible that somebody can come to this state in his life that he's not he's not even having any form of thought about his life and his destiny. You get, if all you live for is to dine with the devil in hell, then of course it was just a waste of life. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this that you need to put, there just needs to be a line. You need to draw a line that what you read does not affect you. It's just there. So, but how do I do it? I always post things that will help people. I always post things that helps for the transformation of man. I always help people I talk about things that help man to live wisely. So you don't end as a fool. You get, so I think so that's it. So you just have to live your life and be truthful about it. And being truthful about it is saying what you want to say and saying the truth out there, and whatsoever the backlash is, you don't take it against them. Just say, Lord, thank you. Help them. Please help them not to fail. Help them not to make this decision that they're about to make. All right. Thanks so much.
I think sometimes some of those backlashes, in real sense, are even free publicity, because people get to talk, and then it's free publicity to some extent, and then it just gives a sense of wanting to actually do more. Because if you see the level of the school of thought of a lot of people, you know why God have actually laid some things in our hearts to actually come out to share. If not, because it's actually alarming. And then thank God for people like you who are still doing it regardless of whatever anybody is saying. And then it comes to show that it is actually God that has sent you. Because if it's not God that has sent you, some of these things will just, what am I actually doing here? But the fact that you have eternity in mind, and then you're trying to build a legacy, tomorrow we'll all say, this person actually stayed true to what's the message of Christ and all of that. And then, so thank you, sir, for staying on the path that God has called you for. And then God bless you. I think soon we'll be coming on the big stage and then celebrating you better. But for now, I'll say thank you so much for doing all of what you're doing. So one of my last questions would be, how can someone maintain a particular identity? How can someone maintain a particular identity? Because this also it's important, because some people will do things for a while and then stop and then dive into something else, stop and dive into something. So how can we maintain it? How can someone maintain a particular identity?
Number one, I would say patience, 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 patience. 2, patience. 3, patience. 4, patience. 5, patience. 6, patience. 7, patience. 8, patience. 9, patience. 10, patience. I don't know if you did this while we were growing up. Of course I did. Like when we had the agriculture, they taught us in school that in primary school at that time, they taught us how to grow plants, and we started with beans. So he said we should go and plant beans. We planted inside. I planted these beans in, this peak tin, this peak milk tin. So I planted the beans. Do you know what we get to do? Every day, they say it to germinate. We'll go and dig it and move it and look at the seed. Then we'll put it back. Guess what? It didn't germinate. It died until they told us, no, you have to leave it. What were we doing? That's impatience.
Yeah.
When we exercise impatience, that gift that God has put inside of us will die. That's the truth. It will die. And it will never profit us. It will never bring us to the place where God has destined that this gift will get us to. So why not be patient? Just be patient and trust God. Follow the course. Just do everything needful. And one day, you will surely harvest that which you have always desired. So if you're not patient, you won't get anything. Now, don't allow anybody, as long as you've been able to confirm that this is the path for me, don't allow anybody to talk you out of that path. Of course, there will be naysayers. There will be lots of people who would say, who feel like they are very empathetic, They feel like you're suffering too much. No, but no, they shouldn't talk you out. You should have a belief beyond all forms of doubt that, see, this is my cause and I'm going all out. It's a very difficult one, but it is something that when you do it, you're going to profit in the end. I've never seen, sometimes tomatoes you can plant tomatoes and in 3 months it's ready. But if you want to build an Iroko, if you want to plant an Iroko tree, if you want to get a tree called the Iroko tree, how many years do you think you need to plant it for you to get the harvest of that Iroko tree? The harvest of an Iroko tree is not the same with the harvest of, or let's use a palm tree. The harvest of a palm tree is not the same as a tomato. So you have to know that once I'm going in for this, if your destiny is massive, if what God has committed into your hand is massive, understand that you will have to do a lot of work. And doing a lot of work, it will take your time. And you will face several oppositions. But one thing you must resolve in your heart to do is, I will patiently wait. Like Job, all the days of my time, I will wait until my change comes. So we have to get to that point, that resolve. All the days I will wait, all the minutes I will wait, all the seconds I will wait, every seasons I will wait until my change comes. Until this destiny bears fruit, I will not stop until it comes. That's the point. And many times people will try to discourage you, and sometimes it might not be easy. Sometimes you might not have food in your house to eat. Sometimes there will be loads of challenge, but wait. Because the destiny is massive, and the root downward it needs a very solid root downwards for the destiny to shoot up massively upwards. So that gaining root downwards is usually the challenge, because that's the waiting season. That's the waiting season. And when that is it, if you don't wait and the roots get solid downwards, you won't be able to see something meaningful that will shoot up of your destiny. So I believe number 1 is patience again, 2 patience, 3 patience, 4 patience, 5 patience, 6 patience.
So this also comes to mind the story of Nehemiah. So Nehemiah wanted to go and build the wall of Jerusalem, and then you think, oh, this guy is going to do a great job, and then he should have a fair entry. People should celebrate that someone left all the way and then came. But he had people that were opposing him until the wall was actually built.
Yes.
So most times we feel like, oh, it is because God is the one that sent us. So when we go to that place, everything is just going to go easy and all of that. Like you said, 1 patience, 2 patience, 3 till we get to. Patience is the only way we'll be able to get to the place that God has called us for. Thank you so much, sir. So lastly, before we go, and then sorry, I'm eating a lot of the time. I know how much of it I've eaten, but so lastly, before you go, sir, what are your final words for us today, for everyone that's watching, for everyone that will watch or listening to this again? What are your final words for us today?
All right, for me, I will just say one thing, and that will be, what will you be remembered for? What will you be remembered for? What legacy will people remember you for? One day, life will draw its curtain on you, and that will be the day that we will say, oh, he has gone. When you're gone, what will you be remembered for? Remember, houses don't last. Properties don't last. Cars don't last. What else? Clothes don't last. The only thing that lasts is the value that you have been able to give to humanity. Remember, human beings hand over values, they hand it over. Miles Moreau, the other day, Miles Moreau's son was wedding, and then they had to play his father's message, and he was crying. He was crying as he was listening to his father. He was crying. His dad is no more. It almost, I think that's like 8 years or almost going to 10 years that he passed on. His message is still valued. So we must ensure that we are handing over valuable substance that will remain for time and eternity. That's it. Jesus walked the path of the earth and gave the earth value until tomorrow. We don't think because he's the Son of God. He really walked. He didn't play gimmicks. He walked. And everybody saw that he walked. And it is the walk that we celebrate today. Long he has returned, but we still call his name. Every day, there is at least 1 or 2 people who are calling his name. So with that, we must make a decision that we must bring value to our generation. Value they will never forget in a hurry. Value that will bring transformation. Value that will bring upliftment. Value that will bring blessings. That's it. And I believe if we can do that as humans, we will never be forgotten. Every time our name is mentioned, it will always be a blessing, whether in life or in death. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you so much for
Thank you very much.
making our time to be a blessing. This show is one of those episodes where I'll watch, I'll listen over and over again, because every word from you has been a blessing, and it has been beyond amazing. Thank you so much. God bless you, sir, for taking our time to be a blessing to us. Thank you so much. And then thank you for everyone who was listening, for everyone who joined in, and then for everyone who listened again and then watch this episode of Time Out to Teacher Emmanuel again. And then for emphasis, we pray daily, so you can join us by 12 a.m. to 12:30 every day. We pray daily, and then let's just fellowship together and have a beautiful time. Thank you again. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. So you can this will be posted on Apple Podcasts. It will be on Amazon. It will be on Google Podcasts. Basically everywhere, and then on YouTube as well. So, and then please share, so someone will be a blessing. Someone will be blessed by what we have enjoyed today. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. And then my regards to your wife and kids. Thank you so much. Because they if not for them, if they didn't allow you, you wouldn't have been here. So thank you so much. And then special regards to them as well.
All right,
thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.